Hi folks, and welcome back for another video. My name's Chris Allison and welcome to Nottingham Music Excellence for another video. So today I'm going to play my absolute favourite piece for grade 5 saxophone. I think this is such a nice piece called Céline Mandarine. Stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to make this piece sound really, hoo-ah, really awesome. Here we go. So I'm going to play it through for you, and then I'm going to show you how to extract all that juicy detail out the music and give you some technical tips along the way too. Here we go, this is a super piece, I think you're really going to like it. Okay, so you've heard the music, let's get into some of that detail. Now I think before we go into the specifics of the music, let's just have a little talk about tuning, because there's nothing like a slow, steady piece like this, a slow, quiet piece to really expose you on the tuning. So make sure you tune up really carefully with your piano before you play this and before you present it for examination. There's a whole load of bits in this, especially in those first couple of lines where the tuning is really exposed and a lot of those notes aren't actually great notes on the saxophone for tuning either, especially the first bar or two. Now personally, if it was me and I was playing this for a concert or a recital or exam or something like that, I would want to get in that room and check that piano out, maybe play an A on there, you know, in front of my tuning machine, and just so I've got a good idea of where that piano is before I go in there. So I'm not sort of faffing about too much with the tuning when I go in there. So that's always a handy little tip as well. So just be mindful of that. Now there are some fixers for that, some perhaps slightly more advanced fixers for some of those notes, like the D with the octave key, for example. You can fix that by pressing that low B key, and that does dull down the D a little bit. Whether you'd want to use that in that, or whether that might just complicate it for you, you'll have to decide yourself. And over to some of the other notes. So I think a lot of pupils find this section quite tricky with the flats. Now there's all sorts of D flats and G flats thrown in there, so be really careful of those. So pace the notes out really carefully in this. Try to avoid that sort of tight, buzzy sound. Make a nice, rich, warm and open sound when you're playing this. A gentle use of vibrato can really work wonders here, but just be careful how you do that. Just a nice bit of slow vibrato on some of those longer notes, I think sounds really nice. Be careful not to play this so slowly that it loses its sense of sort of pace and direction. So time it carefully. When you play music too slowly, it can actually just make it harder on the breathing as well. So just time it really carefully. Okay, and moving into the allegretto, I think this section now will be a welcome break for most pupils from all those flats and the slow tempo. So I think this is quite nice. It fits on nice, easy notes of the instrument, and the rhythm is quite kind of groovy, isn't it? So fairly straightforward there. Try and make this section sound really interesting by really applying those dynamics carefully. So you've got the forte bars, and then you can match that, you can really contrast that with the piano as well. And then back to the forte. Okay, now on to the 3/8 section. Now this is the bit I think that pupils are going to find a little bit tricky. It feels quicker, even though it's not really quicker, but it goes through those notes quite quickly. So try and observe the phrasing detail carefully and just practice it nice and slowly. And then it works its way back to the adagio tempo again, and we find ourselves back with a few of those flats again. So bring the piece to a really calm and tranquil ending, and just play those last few notes as slow as you like. You've got all the time in the world. Okay, so that's it for the mini tutorial side of the lesson. Grab your saxophone. We're going to play through from bar 7 to 17, and then we're going to play through the 3/8 section with a metronome too, from bar 70 to 78. This will be good practice at playing through those tricky flats and see if you can get them all right. So I'm going to give you 3, 4, 1, and then we're in at bar 7. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Okay, so I've set my metronome to 152 now. We're going to practice that tricky 3/8 section. See if you can play along with this. I'm going to give you 2 bars for nothing, and then we're in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I hope you found that useful. I'm going to replay the performance again now and turn down the saxophone part. See if you can play along with that piano part yourself. Here we go. Okay, so I think that's it. I think that's a wrap for Grade 5 Saxophone Céline Mandarine. So be sure to check out some of my other Grade 5 saxophone uploads. Check out those and see which are your favourite pieces. Also, there's going to be a Grade 5 scale video as well so that you can play along with that. Don't forget to click on that like button and leave a comment below. Let me know how you're getting on with this piece. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, bye.